on some very interesting news about the food poisoning case. Like I promise, I won't be one of those YouTubers who just speak on this and just let it go. I promise I'm gonna follow it up and I'm gonna consistently give you guys my own personal view and also give you guys updates from the ministers and from people who are actually involved in solving this case. So today, I have a clip. I want you guys to listen attentively because there was people who were arrested based on this case for selling chemicals to SPAZA shops, and not just foreigner SPAZA shops, all SPAZA shops selling chemicals, forced to use those chemicals in food. But I want you guys to listen to Dr. Aaron MOTSOALEDI once again on a different interview after 4 people were arrested based on this case. I want you guys to listen for better understanding so you don't make your own conclusions without knowing what's going on. Take a listen at this.
Earlier on, we saw that 4 people have been arrested in connection with a case of food poisoning. Just a bit of clarity there, Minister. Is this linked to the Naledi food poisoning in Soweto?
Thank you very much. Good evening, Mbali. Good evening to the listeners and viewers. I think you did well by asking that question because this afternoon I had to clarify it on one of the TV stations who did not understand me. During the course of the work which we were doing in Naledi, which were done by 114 officials, 80 health inspectors and other people from various government departments who are the stakeholders. During that process, some of the SPAZA shop owners confessed that there is a mall that sells them a chemical. And so 27 officials were dispatched there to that mall, a Johannesburg mall, and they did find the chemical spoken about. They confiscate 1,450 grams of that chemical, and 4 people were arrested who were selling it. Not that it was directly linked, but it's the hawkers, the SPAZA shop owners who confessed that they are buying that chemical, and the people who are arrested were found with it. It has not yet been linked to anybody's death because that part of the investigation is still going. But the fact that they were having such a chemical, which they were not supposed to be having in the first place, and they were selling it, and the fact that SPAZA shop owners in Naledi confessed that they are buying it there was enough to arrest them. And 2 of them have already been, it was 1 man and 3 women, 2 of them have already been given bail, the others are in custody.
And Minister, maybe if you can also clarify, when it comes to this chemical which you speak of, what is this chemical, and was this chemical also found, when it comes to the toxicology reports being done on the children?
Well, Mbali, if you remember, last week when you issued a statement to all the news media, we said, according to our assessment, looking at the symptoms, we think we are dealing with a chemical, meaning we are not dealing with a biological agent here. We are dealing with a chemical, and we had to go and search for it. And the process of searching for it has gone on. We have got a fair idea, which is what we think we are looking for, but we have not yet confirmed or found that. So after a week of getting to all the SPAZA shop, 84 of them, as I've said, and 43 of them are owned by South Africans and 41 by foreign nationals. And after the search was completed yesterday, starting from today at the NICD, with the samples of what they took from those 84 SPAZA shops, with the samples, they then summoned together a group of experts, being chemical pathologists, forensic pathologists, epidemiologists, and other sort of physicians. They are sitting and analyzing this. They've summoned even the files of the kids who went to hospital, especially those who died. They are analyzing that process. The samples have been sent to laboratory. We are obviously waiting for results. And we believe by Monday, the analysis will be a little bit far advanced. It definitely won't be completed unless laboratories are able to perform some miracles. But normally, we believe we'll still be waiting, but at least we'll be having a progress report on Monday which we think will give it to you.
And Minister, this latest development coming out now with the arrests and, this poison being found, or this chemical being found, what does it mean for the cases in which we have seen where children have died, after of course, consuming contaminated goods?
It means the work we've been doing now, we must link them directly. Remember, South African's criminal law is not on basis of probability. You must prove beyond reasonable doubt. I'm sure you're aware of that. You only do probabilities in civil law. If it's criminal law, you have got to prove beyond reasonable doubt. So what is left is for the samples which I say are being analyzed and sent to laboratory to be linked directly to particular SPAZA shops and be linked to the snacks that the children has consumed. So that link is the one that is left. But for now, we have got clues. We have got SPAZA shops who confirm that they are buying a chemical. We went to the people who are selling the chemical. We indeed found the chemical. They were arrested. Now we need a link. That includes post-mortem results, of course.
And this mall where this chemical is being sold, what is being done about that mall? Has that mall been closed?
Well, some of the people who were selling are not necessarily owners of the mall. It is hawkers. As I said, 4 people have been arrested in that regard. And of course, when you arrest them, you confiscate everything they are saying. And that confiscation has happened. The confiscated chemical is in Johannesburg Central Prison as we speak.
Minister, do we know what this chemical is actually used for?
Mbali, we have got a fairer idea, but look, we are trying to act scientifically here. I'm quite aware that people are angry and anxious. They want us to plunge in and mention it, but Mbali, look, I've been conducting postmortems in my past life. It's a very, very tricky area. For instance, you may find a substance in somebody's stomach who have died. It's not enough to conclude that that's the substance that killed the person. They might have been killed by something else, and the substance happened to be an incidental finding. So we don't want to shoot our mouth and only to find that science, when the results come out, say something else, because members of the public won't be confident with whatever we say. So please bear with us. We have got a fairer idea, but we can't disclose until we have got laboratory confirmed results.
And Minister, how concerned are you now that we have found that it is indeed a chemical here that is being used in some of these SPAZA shops and that may have led to the deaths of these children?
Well, as we said last week Sunday when we released a statement, we said we are fairly sure that it's a chemical because we looked at the symptoms. So we already knew that it's a chemical, but we have to go out and look for it, because nobody has confirmed it. We can't work on the basis of anecdotes or guesswork. So we knew all along that we are dealing with a chemical here. The reason, Bali, that we said so confidently is that people who get sick after eating food, number one, it may be caused by a biological agent, in which case it is then called food poisoning. I know everybody is talking about food poisoning, but the actual medical definition of food poisoning is food that has been contaminated by bacteria or plant-based substances. That is what food poisoning means. Blood-based substances or their toxins. Now there has to be a living organism that is responsible. And we're dead sure that in this case it's not. The other may be a chemical substance, and the last one might be a physical substance, like for instance radiation. It can make people vomit and feel dizzy and do all sorts of things. So after we analyzed the symptoms, we concluded that is a chemical substance. When from Monday this week we started sending people to Naledi, they were going to look specifically for a chemical substance and nothing else.
All right, Minister, thank you so much for that update. And